Yes, yes, yes. The Queen of Chess also has composed some endgame studies. This is from the strongest female chess player ever, Judit Polgar. It's a pawn end game, one of my favorites. The pawn end games are my favorites by far. They require precision, a lot of precision. So take your time on each move. Please do take your time so you practice the best that you can. If you haven't, I suggest you watch the guide. If you are already prepared, then you already know the countdown of 10 minutes, the main one will start, and then I'll resume to begin the guided solution. And here we are. I'm going to show you the first move, which is King G7 exclamation mark. But let's talk about the pawn and games we are facing over here. So pawn and games require scientific precision. So don't play by intuition. Don't rush, because if you rush, you are going to miss the small turning points of the position. And also, you need to count moves in your head. So you need to visualize. So they are very good to practice visualization, by the way. So over here, we have 2 pawns on each side of the board. The kings are on the opposite corner, so very interesting position, and it's white to play. And the first thing we should do is, okay, if the pawns don't move, they are not blocked, but we are going to talk about it in a bit. If the pawns don't move, how many moves should I do to grab all them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 moves from white, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we reach this position, of course, then the pawn can advance or the king move to the side and assure the promotion of the last pawn. White is going to win. So if nothing is done with the pawns, we just go directly, we grab the pawns, and then we promote the last one. But can black do another path? Well, it can go to the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now this is different, because if black goes in another path, in a different way, then we are already controlling the b pawn. We are not haven't catch, so the white king should be on a6, and so then the black king is assured to take the other pawn, so it's going to be a draw. So as you can see immediately, the path that we took made all the difference. So let's see if we can improve for white. So let's go to the center, 1, 2, 3, and this already starts to make some problems for black. So 1, 2, and I can't go to e4 over here, so I need to go to the side, 3. And now let's go for the pawns again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I waste one more tempi, but I reach on the 8th the other pawn. And let's go to c4. I can't go 5 over here, so I need to go down. 6, 7, 8, and I get the same idea from before. So white is winning again. So as you can see, at first, the path, it's also important. And the geometry of the board says that, for example, for the white king to reach d8, it's the same tempi as going to d4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to reach d4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to reach d8. So the path that we shows that it's going to the center normally is the better in pawn and games, because at the same time, as we saw, 1, 2, 3, we are going to create problems to the path of the opponent. So this is also very important. But it's not all that we need to see on the position, because at the same time, while we are counting moves for the kings, the pawns also have tempi to spend, buffers. The black pawns can go to a5, the other pawn can go to a b6, or even to play at first 2 moves to b5, and the same goes with white. White also can play the advancing the pawn. So these are the features of the position, and having these moves from the pawns, it's very important. And there's also an extra rule by experience, and I think was Dvoretsky that talked about it. I don't know if he got it from previous chess players, probably. But the idea is we want to keep in the reserve the tempi the more that we can, so we use it at the precise time. So in this situation, what black is thinking is, okay, I want to use a5 because I will have a reserve tempi after using a5 at the same. And from white perspective, the same. I want to use a5, so I will have 1, 2 reserve tempi with the other pawn. Also, another interesting thing we can conclude over here, this is going to become a bit longer than probably you were expecting, but I hope you are enjoying it. From black perspective, if we have the pawn on n5, this means that white will need to take one extra tempo to reach the 2 pawns, because they are not connected. So when we grab one, we won't grab the other immediately. So on both sides, black is thinking, okay, if I can play a5, I add one extra tempo for white. So if I do it in the right timing, I take advantage of it. And on the other side, from white perspective, okay, if I play a5, I will be assuring that the pawns will stay connected, and so I grab both at the same time. So this is the start, a big introduction. Let's go for the moves. And of course, as I have already told you, going to g7 is the solution. So if we tried over here to catch black distracted, so let's play a5 so we are assured the pawns are connected. What happens is now I'm going to draw. I need to count moves, but it's black to play first. So 1, 2, 3. And now it's white that it's going to turn to the side before the time. So let's see this in action. 1, 2, 3. Now white is forced to go to the side, and look what happened from here. Now it's white is going to grab the 2 pawns, but black is going to be in a very comfortable position. Now it can keep the pawn or go ahead and search the other one. Here white needs to sacrifice the pawn, of course, and so we get a draw. So as you can see, we need to count moves and choose the perfect time to improve our position. So let's go for the first 3 moves, which are really easy. So over here, black also needs to play king e3. Notice that if black tries, okay, I will try to go and separate my pawns now, so I add one extra tempo for white. What happens is now the king can grab it easily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now black comes to the side of our pawn, but of course, as white, we just simply play b3, so the king can't grab our a4 pawn. The king grabs the b3 pawn, but now we are in time to promote the pawn easily. So over here, as you can see, black was not also able to advance the a5 pawn too soon. So black plays to the side. And here is the first moment where I'm going to stop the clock. So it's white to play. You have 1 more minute. Pause for more if you need. Count well the moves. It's white to play and to win. And let's see if you have found the right move. White needs to play now a5. Why? Because if white goes with the king, this can be something that you need to tell me what is the right move for black. So let's say I give you 1 more minute and then I come back to resume. Over here, it's black to play and to draw. I catch you up in a while. Yes, I am kind of mixing both solutions in one because the solution for black is also to go with a5. Brilliant one. This is all about counting moves. The problem and the difference between the king being in e5 before is that the king had a clear path for the pawns, but over here it can't go directly to the pawn, so the pawn is protecting the c6 square, so the king needs to come to the side, 1 2 3 and then 4 5 moves, which gives tempo for black to easily get the a4 pawn. So let's see that in action. As you can see, now the king grabs 1 pawn, but black isn't paying attention, of course. Now attacks the other one, and as you can see, after a while, it's just going to be a draw. So over here, if we move the king, then black needs to use that extra tempo with the a pawn to draw the game. But let's go for the main line. So over here, it's white to play, and it's the correct time to block black from playing its own a5. And now let's see what happens over here. Black plays to the sides. Of course, now white plays king d5, black plays king c2, and another moment for a pause, another countdown of 1 minute before resuming to the next phase of the solution. And we need to count moves. And if we go to c4, it's going to be a blunder. We are going to give the draw away again. It's going to be a draw. But of course, black also needs to know how to play over here because it's all in the small details. We can't grab the pawn, of course, because if we grab the pawn, one move, then this allows white 1 2 3 moves, and 1 2 3 from black over here, it's not going to be enough to grab the pawn. It's black to play, but it needs to go to the side because the a5 pawn is protected. I can show you that. I should have also a blunder over here. So as you can see, black approaches the pawn, but it's white that it's controlling. But black has a very important move, which is to go in front of the pawn and play king b3. Now, of course, white goes to attack the pawns, and black also needs to be careful because the right move is to go to e4. We need also to count what happens if I go on b4. What happens is white is not going to grab the pawn immediately, which should be a draw because black would take a5 pawn, of course, and white also has a tempo extra to play, and so it will use it now, b3, which forces black to take the pawn, and now it's just a matter of waiting a bit, and white is going to promote. So as you can see over here, lots of details, both for black and for white, and that's why over here we can't go to the side. We also need to count it this deep. So white needs to go to the 6. And we already know what's in black's mind, so we are not going to grab the pawn. This just allows 1 2 3 moves, 1 2 3, and easy win for white. So black also discovers that it needs to come to b3. So it's the final countdown. It's white to play and to win. I will resume to finish this one. You can't complain about this one. This is a really a good practice for our calculation and visualization skills. Let's see what happens if we go directly to the pawn. One, two, three. Okay, we are good to go. But then one, two, and black is over here. So not able to grab the last pawn anymore. But nevertheless, black is going to grab the last one and keep a draw. So going to c7, I think this one was easier for you, is a mistake. So we need to come to c5 again, not that hard. And so forcing black to the play. So black grabbing the pawn, one, two, three, allows white one, two, three, and win the game. So we already know black can't grab the pawn, so goes to a4, which of course now makes things easier for white. White will play king b6, so threatening now to earn the play and force black to this uncomfortable position where white has the last interesting, brilliant move, the small detail, the reserved tempo that we got until the last critical situation, which is to play b3. Of course, over here it's very easy to see. Black now grabs the pawn, I grab the other. So whatever the play over here, it's going to be easy win for white. So not an easy one. Pawn and games, so few material on the board and still so much to think. That's why I love pawn and games. They require scientific precision until the end. And remember what I told on the beginning: breath in, breath out in each move, because each detail can shift a win to a draw in this situation. But sometimes in real over the board games, it can shift from a win to a loss. So I hope you also have enjoyed this one a bit longer than always. From the Queen of Chess, Judith Polgar, brilliant brain that we got on the chess world. And see you in future videos. Bye bye.